let's start with the big noon game. Go to the Big Ten. Wisconsin going to Michigan. And oh boy. We've talked about Wisconsin probably more than we thought we would this season because it is just so bad. And doesn't seem like there's any way for it to get any better. And we also knew going into the season that they were playing the toughest of the Big Ten schedules. And, it's one thing, like after the Michigan-Oklahoma game, Ari, I think we weren't sure exactly what Michigan was. We weren't sure exactly what Oklahoma was. And so if this game had happened, then we'd be like, okay, I think Wisconsin's got a puncher's chance. Is Michigan going to run for 500 yards in this game and just mush them?
Probably. I don't know if you get this feeling, Andy. Like, whenever we talk about Wisconsin, like, I just feel like the mood goes down. Like, it's just
frustrating. I feel so bad for those people.
Because it's just, even when teams are having rough seasons, there are certain things that you can, like, latch onto and be like, yeah, well, here's a reason to believe, or here's a reason that things can go well. Like, when you watch Wisconsin this year, it just feels hopeless and pointless. Like, and it's worse than I ever thought it could have been. So, like, right now, as we're talking about this game, like, if you are thinking about taking Wisconsin, I don't think that you are. But if you are, can you, like, give me a reason why you would? Because I just don't know what this is probably a pretty sharp line. Wouldn't surprise me if it was a 17-point game, at the end of it. But could you imagine how miserable of a feeling it would be to bet on Wisconsin and have to watch that for 4 quarters, hoping that it hits? Like, it just would be. It's just so bad. Like, give me a positive. Do you have a positive about Wisconsin this year?
The food in Madison is exquisite.
You know what
beer in Madison is exquisite. There's nothing. There's nothing.
When we were in Madison last year was so good. Do you remember that?
Yeah, when we went to State Street Brats. It was amazing.
Oh my God, that was good. That's a positive.
But the thing is, I just don't know. I don't know what you do here because a couple weeks ago, right before they played Maryland, I texted Ari on the Wednesday of that week, and I said, Ari, what is Wisconsin's record if they lose to Maryland? And he immediately texts back. He's like, 2-10's in play. 2-10 is very much in play because the schedule is just maniacal. And, I don't know. The spread on this game is 16.5. It's Michigan by 16.5. Michigan's style might make it where Wisconsin can get in through the back door. But I will say, okay, before we go too far into this and we heap too much dirt on Wisconsin, last year they did give Oregon absolute hell, even though they were having a bad season. So is it possible, and they were tough on Penn State for most of that game too, is it possible that they have one of those games in them that they can give a pretty good team a really, really tough game?
I don't think Michigan is that good yet. I think they're going to be really good next year when they add to the portal.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, Michigan's not good yet, but they're a team that can, against a bad Big Ten team,
roll it over them.
Like, yeah. I don't think Nebraska's a bad Big Ten team, and they kept hitting explosive runs on them. So, like, what are they going to do to the bad teams?
Yeah, the explosive run ability that Michigan has, it's like conventional wisdom would be like, okay, well, Michigan might have 14 play drives that take up 8 minutes off the clock, and 16 points is a lot of points. If there's a weird turnover or Wisconsin gets an early score or something, you might be able to talk yourself into it. But I don't Michigan, I think, is an average to a slightly above average football team this year. And I think that makes it, they're miles better than Wisconsin. And the game's in Ann Arbor, right? So, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm laying the points. I might be wrong on this because, again, like, it's a lot of points. And, like, this is a game I would never play in real life because gambling's supposed to be fun. And this would just be miserable.
Well, this week is an entire week of games you'd never play in real life.
Yeah. Well, that's not true.
Not all of them, but quite a few of them are games you would not play. The other interesting part about this is Sherrone Moore is back. for Michigan.
Yeah.
Because remember, he was suspended for the Central Michigan and Nebraska games. It feels like it's been a long time because they had that off week, but he's back. I would assume that makes Michigan's operation cleaner and smoother, although it was pretty clean and smooth under Biff Poggi. I don't really think they missed a beat.
Yeah. Yeah. So just laying? Just hope for the best?
Yeah. I'm taking Michigan to cover the 16.5.
Yeah, I'm looking at the power rating metrics, looking at T-Shoe index and some other things, and like the line is pretty sharp. So I don't know if there's any edge or extra few points to get on the direction one way or the other. So I'll just lay the points and, expect Michigan to break off 80-yard runs until they win by 17.
Yeah, that's probably how it is. Michigan's up by 24 late in the game. Wisconsin scores a garbage time touchdown. And of course, the Wisconsin fans, I'm curious because it's funny how we crowdsource Wisconsin fans comments a lot, and we've gotten some great emails from the Wisconsin fans. They're really thoughtful, and I wonder how they feel about this. Like, do they want? Obviously, you want your team to win, but do they want them to lose close, or do they want this, if they're going to lose, to be an unmitigated disaster so that maybe it forces something different to happen?
It would have to be a long, continuous, season-long, unmitigated disaster, I think, for them to pony up the money, right, Andy? Or
right, it's a massive amount of money. But, Ari, that's on the table. The massive season-long unmitigated disaster is on the table.
Do you know what it's like? This happened to me last year. And, you and I are salaried employees, so we don't have a very complicated, CPA tax situation. You just put your
right
W-2 in and whatever. My wife has the most complicated tax situation in the history of mankind. And I'm not going to go into the details of why, but it's a nightmare. And
she's not doing anything illegal, we promise.
Well, she's a bookie, actually. That little gig 'em thing, she was just like happy because all you people that laid the points on A&M had to pay her this week. But no, all kidding aside, it feels like when you owe the IRS money, you don't want to pay, but you might have to. And that's kind of what it seems like here. If the circumstances get bad enough, like it might be expensive and it might be hard to swallow, but you might not have a choice.
Yeah, your hand may be shaking, but you're still writing that check to the government. And it's probably, if they're sitting there staring down the barrel at 3-9 or 2-10, that is what they might have to be doing. Producer River, please put that schedule up one more time so people can see the just depravity of this schedule. Michigan this week, Iowa next week, Ohio State the following week, at Oregon, Washington, at Indiana, Illinois, at Minnesota. Wisconsin will be double-digit underdogs in most of these games. Maybe not Iowa, but most of these games.
Yeah.
And only because the Iowa-Wisconsin total is probably going to be 13
11. Yeah. But so we're both taking the point, or both laying the points here. We're going to go with Michigan. I don't feel good about it. Maybe the game will turn out to be like a Big Ten muck, but I have no ability to have to like cling hope to Wisconsin showing up and trying to play a game that's competitive.